Hello friends. Woo, I'm back. And we have a shift in energies that I want to talk through with you. So this video is going to be a short video, and I'm going to look at the charts and the energy behind them, the number charts. But then I have a long video coming, and that has tons of information about the energy shift, a lot of specific information about one of the images in particular, and a lot of stories that are fun and interesting. So look for that. That's going to be either out tonight in the wee hours or tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So please look for that. And if you like this video, if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. It really helps me with the algorithms and the monetization. And if it resonates with you and the next one, the long one, could you please share them? I would really, really appreciate that. And that really helps me. So thank you. Okay. And if any of you are interested in sessions, I now have a session page up on my blog where I explain exactly how sessions work, different things that can come up, the kind of energy work that I do during the session, and it's pretty interesting. So if you've ever had an interest in that, I'll put a link to the sessions part of the video below, of the blog below. So let's go through this. Okay, so this video has North America, and the other video will have the globe with Africa and a slightly different wave pattern. Okay, so what I want to do is look at the Schumann Resonance today. Okay, this is Friday, 05/21/21. So it's kind of like there's a interesting number situation going on there, and it's also a 535 because that's the month day in here, condensed numerically. But so basically, what we have here, in my view, is as the chart moves along, is a diminishment of the energies. And this energy here, and I'm going to talk about this. I talk about this in depth on the big video. So anything that I say on this video is going to be additive so that it's not a repetition. But what I said here, I'm just going to summarize it, is white hats using a circular technology and black hats using a circular technology. Because when I look at this energy pattern and with my clairvoyant vision, what I see is a circular technology. Here's the one half of it, or one part of it, and then it kind of goes around here. And then there are people stepping out of it or working in front of it. And then here's kind of the effect that's desired, and that grounds up to 40 hertz. So basically, it can be one side or another. And I think that both sides, this is just a sense of mine, have advanced technology that are in this war that we talked about in the video with the warrior on it. So maybe I'll link that one down below. That was a really interesting video because in that I talk about how to clear negative energy in an upgraded way. So take a look at that if you'd like. That's about 20 minutes. Okay, so what happens is there are some other things that this represented as well, and those are down here. And what happens is those trends diminish and then diminish, okay? So here's the key to this. And like I said, this is additive, so there's no repetition with the long video that's coming out. I've got a lot of editing to do on it, so I thought I'd put out a short kind of little clip here. But here's what I get with this chart, okay? There are energies and a range of choices that are potentially diminishing. And the question is, are the forces of darkness losing hold on their ability to influence the energies that affect humanity? Or do the capabilities of humanity diminish through unconscious choices? Bottom line, the choice is yours. It's yours in your life, and it's ours as a collective. Okay? The reason the choice is yours is because this is humanity's planet, Earth. This is our planet. We're native to this planet. The human race lives on Earth, okay? And your soul's embodiment is you. And you have the divine authority that comes with being an embodied soul within you. And that is why the choice of how this goes is yours, based on how you think, how you feel, what choices you make for action, what you embody in the physical body and in the energy that you create with that body, the energy field around you, your non-physical thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in the physical world. Okay, so I just want to look behind this chart. And the interesting thing that happened with the frequencies lately is there's been kind of a flattening here. And at different points in the chart, there's kind of been a bit of a flattening, okay? Which I guess makes sense with the diminishment that's happening. The flattening is the least in the white, although that might partly be an effect of the smaller range here, an optical illusion of the smaller range. But yeah, I mean, there's some extended time here, like for example in the yellow where it's pretty flattish, and in the red, and maybe a little here in the, just here in the, so for some short periods of a set of hours, yeah, it's more like that long, like there. Yeah, so, okay, so now let's look at the amplitudes. The biggest spike here is in the first set of white images on the chart. And what is really interesting, okay, is that, see here, you've got the peak at 58, but then you've got red at 9, yellow at 18, green at 6. These are very low, okay, relative to white. And so what I'm saying here is that I don't think that this image is really a wave, okay? I think what's grounding here is humans' use of advanced technology for the highest good of all, or for the self-interest of a few, okay? And so there's a story here that we're being shown. We're being shown, and that, in my view, human consciousness is creating, okay? We're showing ourselves through the images and the resonances what we're thinking about and what we're perceiving is going on around us. And we have the ability to affect things because you're an embodied soul. And when you know that, it amplifies your energy, and that has kind of great effects. But I don't want to go into that right now. I talk a lot about that in the video. Now, the thing is that what the white resonance is showing us here, okay, because it's spiked, but everything else is low. And what it's showing us here is where the action is on the chart, rather than being like a big celestial wave of incoming light, you know. A lot of the waves feel like that, right? Especially the ones early in March. And then in mid-March, we had so many fascinating images that were kind of feeding us information and downloads. And now here, it's more nuts and bolts. Hey, this is what's happening, okay? Because you don't get the rise in all the other earth resonances, right? The red, the green, the yellow. And I have other videos where I talk about the meanings of these colors. The color is just to differentiate one from another, so we're not looking at a black and white chart, right? Or shades of gray. All right, so let's see here. We did amplify. Okay, now qualities. Now this is interesting. I thought this was very interesting. The only resonance that's really spiking here, because of the varying chart ranges, I have to kind of in my mind adjust it for the fact that the chart ranges are slightly different for each color. So the only one that's really spiking here is the white here, here, and here, okay, and then the yellow here. And basically the yellow peaked when that circle technology creates an effect backwards in time and then grounds up to 40 hertz, right? It goes up to 40 hertz. That line from that white image went to 40 hertz. And when it went to 40 hertz, it kind of had like a downloady effect. Here, I'll show you. Here, see? So here's where this peak spike in yellow is, which is the astral, which is where this technology works. I believe that's what I'm seeing. Okay, in the chart, there's an advanced technology. It's circular and it works in the astral because this is where it spiked, where it grounded something. Something comes through the technology, whether it's people, whether it's an effect, and then it grounds. And look at all that, right? It's like it's like an old computer punch card, right? And it goes up to 40 hertz. So, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. It's trying to, it's affecting us, but look, it gets transmuted here up in the higher realms. Anyway, this is really interesting. You don't usually see this like this going up to 40, so not sure its meaning totally, but it is pretty fascinating, right? Oh, here's the other thing. Look at these, okay? So this to me, these colors are like colors of divinity. It kind of tells me everything's going to be all right here, or that there's, okay, see here? Here's the dark line. I talked about this before, but basically, see, you have the dark line going down. It's like an attempt at hacking, but it's not technology because we can't be hacked at the 40 hertz level, at the level of, that's where this is in the chart, at the level of our spiritual experience using our brain. And so what I think this is like propagandized information, trends that we're, being invited to take hold of spiritually that aren't really about the human soul and true divinity to try to get us off track. But you see what happens here? As it goes down into the lower hertz, you get this gorgeous jewel tones that kind of transmute it to a protective colored blue, and then anyway, then you go up there and it's in the wave. Now, the other thing about this is 100% protected here in the infralow. It does not break through to the infralow, except let me just see here. With a slight, if there's a slight effect here, okay, after there's some effect of the technology, and yeah, I'm saying that the technology effect moves backwards in time and it's fourth dimensional. Are those things related? Kind of, because time is flexible in the fourth dimension, number one. And number two, it implies either using this technology to bring forward something from the future, or from the white hat's perspective, or from the dark hat perspective, using the technology to adjust the past. Which I don't really think is possible anymore, which is why this has already failed before they did it. See here? Because of the jewel tones changing the nature of the characteristics of what is going on here. Okay. And it looks like the technological effect may be back subtly, okay, because we're getting all these lines periodically. And that was a characteristic of the technological effect. So I'll have to watch for that. And so what was interesting was the white spikes were in the pauses. See, that's another indication to me that the first wave in particular, that's in the 19th on the spectrogram, is not like a celestial wave. The quality spikes in the white resonance are in the pauses. Divinity has us in the pauses, spikes for us, shows itself in the pauses where we commune with the quiet, centered self within. Now, there's one other thing that I want to show you that we're going to talk about tomorrow. Now, I talked about this in the last video, okay? But there was an energy shift here, and it was with this wave of light. And what I want to show you is this. Okay. Now, it came to me because I looked at this person's account on Twitter. Somebody had retweeted it and their image. So I thank this person, Star Traveler. with some numbers in there on Twitter. But anyway, so I did this image myself. It came out slightly different than theirs, but similar. But here's the bottom line, and here's the preview to what I'm going to talk about in the big video. What this image is, it's not a wave of light per usual. It's an image of the human leg bones. Here's the hip, the connector with the hip. Okay, so this is going to be in the pelvic area. Okay, and in this area you have the energies of dark forces attaching themselves to human sexual energy. Okay, because you have here the spider queen. Okay, you see her legs here. And I'm going to go into this a lot and its meaning in the, but here you have a hooded figure that's like some kind of priest type figure in a robe. And down here you even have like a reptile humanoid type figure. So I'm going to talk about this in detail in the big video. It's going to be great. So join me for that, either in the wee hours Pacific time, Saturday or Saturday morning, depending on how long it takes me to get the editing done. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for watching.